Great projects in EU4 tend to fall into three categories. The first kind are the really strong ones. We're talking things like Alhambra for 5% admin efficiency, or the Dutch polders for 10% goods produced. These great projects tend to be very influential, and for these kinds of buildings it also makes sense to both snake your way to the province, and also go into a bit of debt to upgrade sometimes. Then we have what I like to call the I guess it's nice category. A good example is the Royal Palace of Caserta, which provides, among other things, some prestige, a 100 governing cap, and some government reform progress, which you can turn into more government capacity. It's not something irrelevant, governing capacity is a valuable resource, but it's also not something you should be taking burger loans out for. And finally we have the I don't want to pop up anymore category of great projects. These are the ones you build here. I've played the game into the late 1700s, you're closing off your world conquest, and you decide, may as well build them, I'm sitting on the money cap anyway. An example of this would be something like the Olympic Caves. Let's actually go on a tangent and talk about this project. Multiple thousands of ducats down the drain to get +1 tolerance of my religion, and +1 of heretics and heathens? And I guess the Brahmins, if I happen to have those lying around, become happier with me? Now, keeping the Brahmins loyal has pretty much never been an issue for me during the part of the game where I can afford a level 3 great projects, and the other three modifiers are literally a conditional version of a -1 global unrest. No, seriously, a province has either your religion, a heretic religion, or a heathen religion. So literally the only difference between this monument and, I don't know, a filler idea in the Serbian national ideas is the fact that heretic and heathen tolerance is capped. So if you're going for that, it may not even apply, since you may have already hit the cap. Okay, fine, if you have a low tolerance on heretic and heathen provinces, you get some other debuffs too. But if your argument can be boiled down to this is sometimes better or sometimes worse than -1 global unrest, I'm sorry, that's not usually worth a minimal investment of 8,500 ducats total, not even mentioning either the time investment or the speed up costs in manpower or cash. It's just useless even by the standards of useless great projects. Well, that was a fun rant, I hope you enjoyed. What I wanted to say in this intersection, however, is the fact that great projects tend to be good, actually. And as an enjoyer of modifier stacking myself, I have wondered before, what is the maximum number of great projects you can run? And hopefully today we'll answer this question. Disclaimers, there are 122 great projects in EU4, 125 if you count the 3 buildable canals, which I will. I'm not going to be judging how useful each great project is, or what is the best setup. I'm merely interested in the rather simple question. Great project counter. Can number go up? If number can go up, how to make number go up? Otherwise, standard setup, achievement compatible, Ironman compatible. Let's go. The counter in use today is going to be different somewhat from the usual ones. Namely that we already know the maximum possible number it can ever hit, 125. So we can just have the counter like that, aka how many great projects we're running out of the 125 possible ones. So it's just the one counter today, it's going to be up to you to make up the difference, which you can do by hitting both the like counter as well as the sub counter if you haven't already. But with all that said and done, and all my self-shilling concluded, let's get into the video proper. For this modifier stacking video, if it can even be called that, I believe we will need to do a slightly different format. I have done my research, and during it, I have worked out the conditions we need to maximize the amount of great projects that we will be building. But instead of picking up a government reform or something and then going, great, we can now build these 57 things, I'm instead going to go through all the things we need to do first. And when that's all done, I'm going to go through the list of all the great projects in alphabetical order. No, reverse alphabetical order, because why not? And either add them to the list or dismiss them. On that note, I'm hovering over North America while saying all this. This because you need to start as a native? Well, not quite. You can, but you don't have to. You actually can start as anyone you want. The beauty of maximizing your great projects is that all the countries have the same equal potential to achieve perfection, and only your final form matters. Now that I've solved all of the world's problems with that inspirational statement, let's discuss why we are staring at America in question. We don't need to start as a native, sure, but we'll need to go and obtain the country flag from a colonial nation, which requires us to be, to the surprise of absolutely no one, a former colonial nation. So if you're attempting this at home, I would actually recommend either Portugal or the English. But Castile or France or anyone with access to the New World relatively early, be that Norway or Morocco if you're feeling exotic, are also completely playable. Build up your colonial country and then go ahead and release and play as them yourself. don't form anything unless there's something like Vermont for ideas, as you want to avoid becoming an NTAG by accident. We don't need any specific ideas, both the ones you get from your country or idea groups, so for once that's going to be left entirely up to you. Once you have become a former colonial nation, a couple things need to happen. You need to discover yourself, like every US student. So, with that said, head over to Southeast Asia, but probably something like the Ming or China. And here you will need to change your religion from Catholic, or whatever you inherited from your colonial overlord, into Confucian. So yeah, you're probably going to China, or South Korea, or Korea, or, one of those areas. But, like, again, every other student from the US who goes over to Southeast Asia, we also need to get another syncretic religion on top of our Confucian beliefs. And that specific branch of religion that we need to pick up is the Vietnamese, aka Mahayana. I think that sounds about right. Mahayana, yes, that sounds good. I'm going to go with Mahayana, branch of Buddhism. Unfortunately, this is where we stop following in the footsteps of American gap year students, as we now need to head over to Persia, or modern-day Iran, and either become part of the Iranian culture group here, or we can go something like Turkmeni or Uzbek if you want to be fancy. You can even go Kyrgyz for start points, because once you've done that, you can go ahead and form the Mughals. Now, the reason we're doing the Mughals is for the Mughals' cultural acceptance, because the Mughals, if they conquer enough of you, just accept you. And a lot of triggers for a lot of great projects is to have the culture accepted. So this bypasses the requirement of, well, not having an infinite amount of cultures to accept. And therefore, it's just something that you should do, and it also makes your life easier, because you're going to have to do a lot of conquering to conquer all of these projects. And the Mughals are very, very good at conquering. Arguably, to this day, and this is an argument that I have, the best tag for conquering the world. Now, the other thing with the Mughals is that frequently when you do form that, you tend to be Sunni, because all the cultures in the area that form them tend to be Sunni. I mean, I think I've seen a Shia Mughals before, but I'm not even sure about that. However, nothing in the Mughals' formable decision actually requires you to be, well, Sunni. So it can contain our Confucian, syncretic religion, and Mahayana fun and games. Or, well, not adopted. So Confucians don't, like, have syncretic religions like Tengri. It's more of, like, assimilated, I think is the mechanic in question. But mainly, we get to keep that when we go and form the Mughals here. And once we have formed the Mughals, there's actually only one thing left for us to do. And as you may have guessed, the Mughals are an NTAG, so it's not like it's forming another country. We need to go ahead and take the Mandate of Heaven. So just beat up China and take it. And that's actually it. So the thing with the Mughals is they don't have a unique Tier 1 reform. So yeah, there you go. Just take the Mandate of Heaven with the Celestial Government reform. We don't need to keep the Mandate of Heaven, just need the Celestial Government reform in question. But there's no reason to get rid of it. Unless you don't want to mess around with tributaries. Honestly, by the standards of every modifier stacking out there, playing as someone like England, making a colonial nation, then going over to China and doing a bit of conquering the local area is one of the most reasonable things I've ever had to do in this game, in terms of modifier stacking. So this probably enters the list as one of the easier ones for you to do, apart from the, I guess, world conquest you have to do after this. But arguably a world conquest is easier than going to a colonial nation and going over to China and then Asia. But that's up to debate. But that's actually it. This setup maximizes the amount of great projects you're going to have access to. As we're an Eastern religion with Confucian, so we have access to all of those Dharmic great projects that require us to be an Eastern faith, as well as giving us access to a couple other unique things with the Ming and Celestial Government, great projects. And with the Mughals, we're getting basically every single great project that has a cultural requirement with it. So, that all said and done, let's enter the fun and games list of great projects that we have access to. Now, initially I was going to do this in reverse alphabetical order, but I think it's probably better to just do it through continents and go through what you're picking up from each area and what you're not getting. But if we do it that way, the first thing I have to actually do is mention the 3 canals. They're great projects because they kind of work as great projects you can't speed up with a couple extra unique events, and they still have some global modifiers. So as far as I'm concerned, 3 out of 125 right away. And with that said, let's get away into our starting area, Americas. So I've gone ahead and tagged into England and colonized the great projects in the Americas that are not starting colonized so that we can actually see them when we click on the province. And today we begin with the White House, which has one requirement: you either need to be the US or a former colonial nation. We're a former colonial nation. So yeah, we get it. On the counter. No requirements. On the counter. Need to be totemist. We're not totemist. Nope. Need to be Catholic. We're not Catholic. Nope. Need to be totemist. We're not totemist. Nope. No requirements. Yes. We need to accept the culture. Conquer the Central Americans as Mughals. Yes. Accept the culture. Conquer the Central Americans as the Mughals. Yes. Need to accept the culture. You've guessed it. Conquer them as the Mughals. Yes. No requirements. Yes. No requirements. Yes. No requirements. Yes. Need to be one of these three cultures. We had the Mughals. Conquer these cultures. Yes. No requirements. Yes. Accept the culture. We're the Mughals. Yes. We're not Inti. Can't get this one. No requirements. Yes, we can get this one. No requirements. Yes, we can get this one. Before we move on from America and on topic of colonial regions, let's also take a look at a couple ones in Polynesia. Or, well, the islands in the Pacific that everyone ignores in every game, because why would you go there? The big heads. You need to be Polynesian culture, have it accepted. Yes, we're the Mughals. Add them to the list. Nan Madol, no requirements. Yes. Now, let's head over to Africa, and we'll also do the Middle East hole in the area. Let's begin in the south. Mabanza Congo. The culture group is Congolese and accepted. We're the Mughals. Yes. City of Kami. No requirements. Yes. You need to be Muslim. We're not Muslim. Can't get this one. Need to be Muslim. We're not Muslim. Can't get this one. Need to be Coptic. We're not Coptic. Can't get this one. Need to be pagan. We're not pagan. Can't get this one. Need to be Muslim. We're not Muslim. Can't get this one. No requirements. We can get it. Yes. No requirements. We can get it. Yes. Need to be Muslim. We're not Muslim. Can't get this one. We need to accept the Egyptians or be pagan. Well, we're not pagan, but we can accept the Egyptians. So, yes, we can get it. Unfortunately, we're not Muslim, Christian, or Jewish, so we can't use Jerusalem. But we can accept the Syrians or the Bedouins, so that's Petra for us. Yes. We're not Muslim, so no Kaaba. We're not Shia, so we can't get this one either. We're not Muslim, so no minarets for us. And now we're going to head over to Europe. Much like we saw a bunch of rejections in Africa because they require you being Muslim, we're going to see a bunch of rejections here because they require you to be, well, Catholic or Christian or some specific denomination of Christianity. This is a relatively common trend, but it's going to be made up for by the fact that we're Confucians, so we get a whole bunch of Eastern monuments when we go east. Alhambra! No requirements. Yes. El Escorial. Need to be Iberian and accept it. We're Mughals, we can accept it. Yes. Belém Tower. No requirements. Yes. Aljaferia Palace. No requirements. Yes. The Royal Palace of Casereta. No requirements. Yes. St. Peter's Basilica. We need to be Catholic. We're not Catholic. No. Santa Maria del Fiore. We need to be Christian. We're not Christian. No. Doge's Palace. No requirements. Yes. Duomo di Milano. Need to be Christian. We're not. No. Palace of the Popes. Need to be Christian. We're not. No. Notre Dame Cathedral. Need to be Christian. No. Versailles. Need to be French and accepting the French. Unfortunately, we can accept the French, so we can use this one. Ambrose Castle. No requirements. Yes. Alminster. The culture group needs to be Germanic and we need to accept the Germans. Yes, we can use this, despite being Confucian. Yes, we can use a Christian church while being Confucian. Cologne Cathedral. This one does require you to be Christian. No. Dutch boulders. Need to accept the Dutch. Yes. Tower of London. Need to accept the British. Yes. Stonehenge. Need to be pagan or accept the British. We're just accepting the British. Yes. Edinburgh Castle. Just be Scottish and accept them. Yes. Hedal Stave Church. We're not Christian. No. Falun Copper Mine. No requirements. Yes. Kronborg. No requirements. Yes. Brandenburg Gate. No requirements. Yes. Historical Center of Prague. Well, we're not Christian, so we can't go into the square. Krakow Cloth Hall. No requirements. Yes. The Big Library. No requirements. Yes. Bran Castle. Accept the Carpathians. Yes. Rila Monasteries. We're not Orthodox. No. Parthenon. We can accept the Greeks. Yes. Hagia Sophia. We're not Catholic, Orthodox, Coptic, or Muslim. So, no. Sultan Ahmed Mosque. We're not Muslim. So, no. Trakai Castle. No requirements. The Kiev Lavra. We're not Orthodox. Can't use it. Trakai Castle. No requirements. Yes. Malbork Castle. No requirements. Yes. Visby City. No requirements. Yes. The Winter Palace. We're going to need to culture convert it into being Slavic and East Slavic, and then we need to accept them. So, yes. The Kremlin. Accept the East Slavic. Yes. St. Basil Cathedral. We need to be Christian. We're not. No. The Mausoleum of Halicarnassus. No requirements. Yes. Divrigi Hospital and Mosque. No requirements, funnily enough. So, yes. I'm not pronouncing that cathedral. Need to be Coptic. We're not. No. Baku Ateshgah. Need to be Zoroastrian. We're not. No. This thing. Yeah, I'm not even gonna try. Need to be Muslim. No. Bam Citadel. No requirements. Yes. Rajasthan Square. Need to be Muslim. We're not. No. Buddha statues. The religion of our country needs to be Confucian, and we need to have harmonized the Mahayana. We have done that. Yes. Harmandi Sahib. Now, I did a mini correction halfway through, so I'm going to save you some comments. Unfortunately, it turns out Buddhism doesn't count as a dharmic, well, religion for some reason. So you need to go ahead and grab Hindu or something and harmonize it. You can harmonize multiple religions as Confucian, so that's fine. And once you've done that, if you keep this province Hindu, you can also use it. So, yes. Mehrangarh Fort. No requirements. Yes. Taj Mahal. We need to be Muslim. No. Khajuraho. Need to be dharmic. Again, fix that with the earlier one. Yes. I feel like if I might mispronounce this one, I'm going to get banned from India. So we're just going to go with yes, because again, we've grabbed Hinduism, so this one applies here for being dharmic. Yet again, I'm not going to attempt this, but I didn't realize the Welsh colonized this part of the world, so that's always a nice bit of history we can pick up. Regardless, we can be Confucian and harmonize Mahayana, so we can use it. Same story here. For the Jokhan Temple, we can be Confucian and harmonize Mahayana. So we can use it. Yes. Barakatra. Need to have the right culture and accept it. We can use it. The Sun Temple. Again, dharmic is a tick for us, so yes, we can use it. Ellora Caves, my favorite great project. Wow, it's amazing, isn't it? But yeah, no. We're Confucian. We can use it. Murud Janjira Fort. That just sounds cool to say, but it has no requirements, so we can use it. Yes. Hampi. We're Confucian. We've accepted the Mahayana. Yes. Look, I'm running out of jokes about not knowing how to pronounce these things, and I'm just going to be honest here. I don't even know. But, again, dharmic is a tick for us. Yes. And, again, dharmic is a tick for us. So the Great Living Color Temples, onto the list they go. Bagan Temples, we're Confucian, we've harmonized Mahayana. Yes. Fancy Pagoda, we're Confucian, we're harmonized Mahayana. Yes. The Advisor Cost Palace, no requirements. Yes. The Govcap Palace. No requirements. Yes. Angkor Wat. We're Confucian. We harmonized Mahayana. Yes. Fancy Mosque. We're not Muslim. Can't use this one. Bordeaux. We're Confucian. We've harmonized the Mahayana. Yes. Prambanan Temple. Dharmic is a tick for us. Yes. Pura Besaki. Dharmic is a tick for us. Yes. The Imperial City of Hu. We're Confucian. We harmonized Mahayana. Yes. Dujiang Guyen. No requirements. Yes. Great Wall of China. We can accept the Chinese. Yes. Temple of Confucian. The religion is going to be Confucian, and guess what? We're actually Confucian. So, yes. Porcelain Tower. Culture group is Chinese. We can accept their culture. Yes. Nanjing Grand Canal. No requirements. Yes. Suko Grand Canal. No requirements. Yes. Hanzu Great Canal. No requirements. Yes. Zhenzan Grand Canal. Guess what? Yet again, no requirements. Yes. The Forbidden City. We've enacted the government reform Celestial Empire. So, yes. Erden Zu. Confucian harmonizes Mahayana. Yes. Genkok Palace. The religion is Confucian and it is the state religion of the owner. So, yes. And of course it also requires us accepting the Korean or the Sino-Korean. We're going to be doing that with the Mughals. Himeji Castle. No requirements. Yes. Imperial City of Kyoto. We can accept the Japanese. Yes. Mount Fuji. We need to be either Shinto or specifically Mahayana, and have the Mahayana religion as our harmonized or syncretic or state religion. We have it harmonized, so yes, we can use Mount Fuji. Yes, we need to be specifically Mahayana, so that we can throw money at a mountain. No, don't ask me how putting money into a mountain makes the mountain better. Okay, it just works. Shut up. We're building the mountain taller. Another palace, because we don't have enough of those, clearly. Need to be Japanese, accept Japanese. We're doing that with the Mughals, yes. Final continent, Australia. Yeah, no. Much like, despite the devs' best efforts, there's nothing to do here. Don't even need to conquer the space. Does it really even exist? I don't know. Give it to Austria or something. Well, that was fun. Not really sure what I meant to demonstrate here today, so just leave you be. I have like 10 palaces I need to go live in. But as always, thank you very much for watching, and I'll go catch you in the next one. Goodbye.